What's up, everybody? This is Talk Shop Crypto. I'm Kyle.
I'm Tyler.
And I'm Nick.
And we're back for another episode of Some Crypto Talking. So, Nick,
Some crypto talking.
I usually open it up to you with news, but can I take this one?
Okay, if you really want to.
Awkward start.
You want to go upstairs while we're this?
But anyway, so the state of the markets right now. Do you all have an overall opinion or feeling of what the markets are looking like? We just dipped below 8,000.
I was about to say, can I just be totally like the
My
negative
opinion is
Nancy?
that it
They're
sucks.
down!
Yeah,
Is that it sucks?
yeah, that's my opinion.
Well, that's pretty much where it is right now.
Okay, it's
So
sad it sucks.
Yeah.
So for those who haven't heard before, we coined the suck coin.
The suck coin.
And that's pretty much what
Coin,
state
I
we're
see
at.
what you did there.
Yeah, we're pretty much at that point right now where the market, like, only there's like XRPs, ZRX, there's only like 2 or 3 that are actually doing well right now. And that's only because of some good news that has come out, but the market's noticeably down.
Yeah, so basically, if y'all been under a rock, which if you're in crypto, you probably saw what has happened. We dipped to a level of about 7,600, I think 7,500, and then we came back about 8,000. We've been hovering around the 8,300 mark.
Mm-hmm.
So, a lot of people have been asking, why have these crypto markets fallen? Well, nobody can really say. There was one where I think somebody moved a large amount of Bitcoin to an exchange, like what we have been talking about, where if a crypto whale, a whale is a large holder of crypto, moves a large portion to an exchange, people are in fear that they will dump the market because the market might be illiquid on that exchange and would cause a price fluctuation. Well, so what happened with this dump, I think we were sitting at about, let's see what TradingView has, about $9,400 to $9,500. That's where we were hovering. And then we plummeted all the way down to the wick, which was $8,156, which is a pretty significant drop. That's $1,000. A lot of people, we were coming into this wedge, and a lot of people were expecting a drop, or expecting a giant multi-$1,000 move, and that happened. So what had happened was, I'm not saying this is the cause, but typically there's a thing called a CME future. Do you know what that is? It's where the people bet on the future price of Bitcoin. So the CME futures is cash settled. It's not like back where it's Bitcoin settled. So typically what these contracts do is they plummet in price every time the contract's about to suspend. So I think when the contract was going to suspend, it was like the 26th or something like that. It was the 26th or the 28th, somewhere around there. But within 2 weeks, the price typically dumps. And we have another contract suspending in late December. So where are we at right now? Well, a lot of people, so this is a chart that it's a still, so it's not live, so maybe off just a little bit, but there's a thing called a VPVR chart, which basically indicates where resistance levels are. And a resistance level is basically, if you see these giant wicks, if you're able to see it on the live stream or the camera, these are where major resistance points are, so where a lot of buying action happens. That's good, just exit it out. But anyway, so you all saw it.
We'll try to get that on the screen for you.
Yeah, but so basically the resistance levels will act as basically supports. So if there's a resistance level of 9,000, it will like to trade within a couple $100 range. So right now we are at a resistance level at 8,300, and I think the next one, and I have it on my sticky notes right here, is around 7,000. Yeah, it's around 7,850. So that's the next major support that we would need to hit in order to be stabilized.
Yeah.
Now, so we just went down, and typically when a market goes down in the crypto space, it has a slight uptick. If there's a pullback, it goes back up, and then if it goes up, it'll go down. Does that make sense? Because people are taking profits. So we are potentially experiencing what is called a dead cat bounce, where basically the chart will just plummet like a cat falls off the table. The cat literally bounces, and they'll just keep falling more.
Interesting.
So we are looking at levels that could potentially reach, and I'm not trying to be a bear, but we're potentially might see a Bitcoin around the $5,500 to $6,000 range. That's extreme cases. So but we're looking to have a resistance level around the $7,200 mark. But here's the uptick for the market. If we hit a $8,750 Bitcoin, this is where the VR chart was supposed to come in handy. That is a space where actually the resistance levels will actually come to a point and there's no resistance at that level. So it could either swing down really fast or it can swing up really fast. If it swings up really fast, there's no resistance between 8,750 and 10,160. So if that happens, we could see a $1,000 move again. But if we stay at this resistance, and typically the way Bitcoin works, if it stays at a resistance for long enough, like if you see it bouncing 8,000, 8,300, 8,000, that's typically an indication that it might go down. You know, I'm not a financial advisor and I'm not a pro trader, but that's just typically how it works. Now,
I personally would like to see it go down. Just saying.
I would too. It would give me a better position
I'd
than
love
what I
to.
have now.
Yeah, I'd love to buy into that, trade everything I have into some Bitcoin.
And so a lot of people are hoping that this year would be the year that Bitcoin breaks its all-time high. Well, I'm pretty much going to say my personal opinion is it's not going to happen. We're probably not going to see above a $11,000 to $12,000 Bitcoin by the end of the year. Here's the reason. There is I'm going to try to type this up as I talk. There is a halvening chart for Bitcoin. And basically what it does is, spell Bitcoin wrong. So basically what it does is...
Bitcoin. Happy for Bitcoin.
Let's see here. Yeah, so typically what we see is we experience a drop between 40 and like 62% before this happening. I wish that chart hadn't cut off, but anyway, so yeah, this isn't what I want. Anyway, so I'm just going to go off of memory. Basically what happens is Bitcoin, since its inception every 4 years, halvens. And what that means is, if you don't know, the Bitcoin halvening is where the miner's reward gets cut in half. So if everybody is sharing a Bitcoin for every 10 minutes a block is made, after the halvening, now they're sharing 0.5 Bitcoin. So it makes it more scarce and harder. But with this happening, since the miners aren't getting much, the miners have to sell at a higher price in order to become profitable, or they can't mine Bitcoin. So it has this self-adjusted Bitcoin price in it. So basically what we're seeing is, what the stock to flow chart is going to tell us, according to the miner's reward and the way the chart is going, is that we're supposed to float around an $8,300 to $8,700 Bitcoin until April of next year, April to May. That's when the Bitcoin halvening is supposed to take place. And typically when that happens, we see a major move in Bitcoin's price. So in Bitcoin's history, it's only 10 years old, but in Bitcoin's history, we have not seen Bitcoin create an all-time high after its previous all-time high before the next halvening.
Oh.
So we've hit $20,000, and that was the high for this halvening, like this 4-year market. So people are thinking that it will not go higher than that until the next halvening. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And when is that?
That's in April or May of next year. So they're thinking by 2020 to 2021 could be the years where it goes to 50,000, 90,000 to potentially
250,000?
250,000.
Yeah.
So that's what we're looking at right now.
And then I'll be worth every bit of like $500 in Bitcoin. After 25
Hey, it's $500
times.
more than what you have.
Exactly. Go get
So-
yourself a nice steak.
So basically that's what we're looking at. And what's going on is there's a thing called an EMA ribbon, and it is basically, there's moving averages. There's like a 5 or 6 day. There's, the major one is the 50 and 200 EMA moving average. And basically these are lines on a chart that will show you where it should be trending. So if you can see on the screen, there's these charts, and there's things that are formed called the golden cross and the death cross. So typically, as it states, if a death cross happens where the 50 and the EMA are trending and then they flip, that's a very bearish sign that we are going to go back down into a bear market. And so as of right now, so basically, do you all know anything about trading and like time frames and like candles and all that?
Let's say that we don't.
Okay, so typically a lot
Which
of people
means we
will look
don't,
at.
but let's just say.
Typically, people will look at the 12 to 4 hour and below charts to try to trade, which is fine. You know, that's great for day trading. But the thing that is major is the higher time frame, so the month and the year candlesticks that are formed. So now this is just playing off of what Bitcoin has done in the past. Bitcoin has never closed 3 monthly red candles in a row without going into a bear market. We just closed our 3rd red candle. Yeah, we just closed it last month. So that
I'm
is.
glad he knows a lot about crypto and Bitcoin because I'm like candles.
What? I see the water in your eyes right now.
Can you imagine if it was just us doing this show? We'd be like, so Bitcoin is a thing.
We trade it.
Yeah. So basically, yeah. So and then what it looks like is we might be having another death cross here forming if we keep forming red candles here in the next month. If that happens, there's only been 1 or 2 other times where a faulty death cross is formed and we've proceeded upward. But if this happens, it's a very good chance that we will continue to the downside until the next happening.
So how much do you think that means? Like I'm in a bear market. What is it?
I think it's the numbers that I've been stating. So I'm hoping that it stays around 7,100. But if that happens, we could see levels between 5,500 to, I don't even want to say it, but because I'm probably going to be wrong, but $4,100. A $4,100 to $4,200 Bitcoin, which I feel bad because your friend just got into crypto, and I feel like it's a repeat. Everybody else that I got into crypto, they're especially Josh Jasper, that's on the air.
On the air,
Yeah, it goes down like 99%, but that's a very real possibility.
I'd like it to
happen.
somehow get back to the cents. Buy up 500,000 of them.
I think if we get to that point, we are in some deep crap. I'm thinking we might recover, but I'll definitely like buy some and be like, I own a couple Bitcoin. Like that's kind of cool.
Yeah, if it goes down to cents, I'd probably buy like 500,000 Bitcoin.
But I think like according to the miners charts, when you mine, it costs different electricity rates to mine Bitcoin around the world.
Yeah.
So in America, it's typically 10 cents per kilowatt hour. There's some countries that are only 3 cents per kilowatt hour. A lot of mining farms go in there. So basically, people have come out with I think it was a rock bottom estimate of what a miner could be profitable at, and it was around the $3,200 mark in the world somewhere. So miners would have to go there if they want to mine Bitcoin and still be profitable, because you're not going to mine for a loss.
Well, it just means that they mine more there.
Yeah. So, but yeah, so that's basically what the market's looking like. There is a huge trend to the potential downside, but if we do hit that 87.50 mark and we stay there, and we seem to be ticking upward, there is a very good chance that we could see the $10,000 mark again. But my opinion is that we will not see an all-time high this year. So it's going to be a lot of, we're on that mining chart that I was trying to show you, the halvening chart, we're entering in what's called an accumulation phase. So basically there's a run up, there's a crash, there's an accumulation, there's a run up and a crash, and then there's like a second accumulation phase, and that's where we breach the halvening gap, and then that's where we start to go up again. So that's currently where we're at. But yeah.
So if you were to not financially advise someone who's looking to buy Bitcoin, would you say to like kind of wait to buy it until right before the halvening?
No. I would say buy now.
Buy now.
But I would say dollar cost average. Do you know what that is?
I don't.
Dollar cost average is if you have $100, buy $100 a day or buy $100 a week of Bitcoin. So that way you can average out your price. That's a better indication, a better way of purchasing. Because if you buy $1,000 right now of Bitcoin and it goes to the $3,000 mark that I just told you, you just lost more than half your money. But if you dollar cost average and it goes to $3,000 next week, yes, you just bought $500 worth of Bitcoin this week at $8,500 or $8,300. But now you have $500 to buy at the $3,000 mark, which makes your money go farther. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. So yeah, I say, if you're a long-term investor into crypto and you have these prices, like I know we've talked about prices of Bitcoin and you all get excited of certain, price prices that Bitcoin could hit, I think it's well worth buying at the $8,000 mark, around there. That's at least what I would do, not financial advice, but I think it's a very safe bet. It's a drop in the bucket.
Yeah.
You know? But yeah.
All right. So what is the next thing we're on for this topic?
That's it.
All right. So it looks like we're moving on to our next topic here shortly.
Yeah. So, so with this, don't take any of this video as legal, financial, or tax advice, even though there was no tax advice in here. But do your own due diligence.
So if you take it as tax advice, then that's all your problem.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what to tell you.
But I will say a very good indicator that you can use is the EMA ribbons. There's like a 50, there's 100, 150, and 200. The 50 and 200 is typically what people do, and they hold a lot of weight in the crypto space because crypto typically goes with those ribbons. Like, it's a very key indicator of where the market's heading. So, but yeah, so I guess that'll do it for this video. We appreciate you tuning in. Check out all our social media: Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, all that good stuff. We have a merchandise store, so make sure you look at that. We'll try to put more stuff on there, but we appreciate you all, and we really appreciate you all tuning in, and look out for more videos that we have. So, love you all. Yeah. See ya.